In this video, we'll show you how to define the process scope of an implementation project. On the Implementation tab of the SAP Cloud ALM Launchpad, select the Manage Scopes tile to define scopes that will contain the processes that will be implemented in the project. If it's not already selected, make sure you select your required project. There are two ways you can create scopes. You can either create them manually, or you can also upload them from a file for some specific solution scenarios. Please see the in-app help for more information about this particular option. Let's create two scopes from scratch, one for processes running in the Paris plant and one for processes running in the global HR hub. Let's start with this one. Enter the name of the scope and a description. To make your selection of individual processes and scope items easier, use the slider buttons to select the solution scenarios you want to include in your scope. Let's choose a few scenarios. If different versions are available, choose the version you need from the drop-down. Then save the new scope. Now choose Process Scoping to add individual solution processes to the scope you just created. As you can see, it's already selected in the Scope filter field, and the processes belonging to the solution scenarios we chose are now listed. Pull the solution processes into scope as required. If you have a long list of processes, to speed things up, you can also use the mass editing feature to select multiple entries and add them all to the scope in one go. When you're done, choose End Scoping. Now let's create a scope for the Paris plant. Note that as well as using the tile on the main Launchpad, you can also call up the Manage Scopes app by choosing Manage Scopes directly from within the Processes app. Create a scope for Plant Paris and select whichever solution scenarios you need. This time we'll also select the Custom entry, which contains solution processes that were authored and published in the Process Authoring app. Then save and go back into scoping mode. Filter the list by solution scenario SAP Best Practices for SAP S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition. Then filter the country region by displaying all processes with the localization France and generic. If you're looking for specific solution processes, you can also use the search field as shown. Use the Scope switch to pull the SAP Standard Process Actual Costing into your new scope. Now clear the Country Region filter and change the Solution Scenario filter to find custom processes that you can add to your scope. Don't forget to clear your search term from before. Now use the Scope switch to pull the custom process called BD9 for Paris into scope. Then choose End Scoping to exit scoping mode. Clear all the filters to see your full project process scope, including all scopes that have been created for this project up until this point. Now select the Tasks app and filter the task list by the Plant Paris scope. You'll see a list of tasks generated based on the scope performed. The project is now ready to proceed. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video.